Hi, I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. Now for years, people have been contacting me because of my blog posts about eczema. I'm one of the people who's actually been cured of eczema, psoriasis. In particular, what I had was dyshidrosis, in which basically on your hands, these little blisters form and then they pop and then they just dry out your skin like a burn. So I had that starting on my ring finger and then it eventually went on both hands. My hands became swollen. I was so desperate. But I had already known, because my mom had psoriasis on the back of her neck, I already knew that there wasn't a medical cure for this. I knew that if you go to the doctor, they can send you even to a specialist, but the best thing that's going to happen, the best thing that can happen, is they're going to give you some kind of ointment that helps. It's a topical solution. It's not going to cure you. So I have nothing against doctors. It's just I know that there's not a cure for this. If there was, people wouldn't be searching on the internet and coming to my blog like I'm somebody special to try to find a cure for it if there was a cure for it. There's not a medical cure for it. I want to be very clear about that. But there absolutely is a cure for it if you're as desperate as I was. So let's talk about that today. The solution? You could become a vegan. Oh man, isn't that the end of the world though? No more meat, no more cheese, no more anything with dairy in it. Oh man, that'd be awful, wouldn't it? But would it, if you were as desperate as I was to not have this condition anymore? Not to mention, I had constant sinusitis. It was always at one point, one side of my nose felt blocked up, but there was nothing in there when I tried to blow my nose. It was just sinus pressure. I was getting sinus infections all the time. Anytime the seasons changed and there was something blooming in the air, I basically was bedridden for a couple of days. I mean, that's basically what would happen. And I just learned to live with it. Until one day, I accidentally became a vegan. I had already cut out pork and shellfish and eventually other meats. And it got to the point where I thought, what would happen if I just cut out dairy and eggs for one weekend? Well, by the end of the weekend, sorry to be disgusting, but I had sort of this plasma looking stuff that just started coming out of my nose. Just because I cut out dairy. It was the weirdest thing. It was like there was, because at the time I was 33. So it was, and this whole thing started when I was around 12 or 11. So I had, well, let's say 22 years of sinus congestion here that all just came out. And what was weird is after that came out over the course of that weekend, just 48 hours for me, I haven't had a sinus infection since. I am no longer allergic to pets, which is really weird because I would be the guy if I went to your house and you had a cat upstairs for the rest of the day, I'd have a headache, watery eyes, itching, just because there was a cat somewhere in the building. And now I can pet a cat and I can rub my neck afterwards and I'm fine. They're forever. It's no big deal. So I'm not here to convince you that being a vegan is the best thing in the world. What I am here to convince you of is that it changed my life. I can make it personal about me. It's not about you or anyone else. It's about me. I no longer have allergy and sinus problems. I no longer have eczema. No doctors, no medicine. I just cut out all animal products. I once was blind, but now I see. All right, so again, I once had constant sinusitis, eczema, dyshidrosis to be exact, and I was allergic to animals. Not to mention I had acne. All of those things, gone, haven't come back. And it's been 3 years since I've been a vegan. Now, do you think that's a coincidence? It's not a coincidence. So, with all that being said, that's why I became a vegan. So today I'm gonna share with you 5 tips to becoming a vegan and still being cool. So number 1, you need to know about what I call the big 6. There's 6 things that you can eat. This is basically your new food groups. Okay, there's 6 of them. It's not just that you only eat vegetables and fruit now. That's 2 of them. Let's just go and talk. So fruits and vegetables. There's also beans. There's also grains, which includes rice and noodles. Right. Next is nuts and then seeds. So let's go over that again. The big 6. Fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds. That's what I eat. That's what I've been eating for 3 years. Now, but Nick, what about protein? What about fat? You need that stuff. Exactly. I'm getting plenty of protein from those 6 things. And as far as fat goes, a lot of plants have a lot of fat in them. Peanuts, coconuts, seeds, those things have a lot of fat in them. Avocados, a lot of fat. Guess what though? No cholesterol. That's something that makes the vegan diet unique. I'm consuming 0% cholesterol. Now, if you look on the package of any kind of vegan food, look at a package of peanuts, for example. It may say 22 grams of fat, but look at the cholesterol. it will say 0%. Now, some will say, but Nick, there is some cholesterol in peanuts or avocados. I agree, but it's so little, it doesn't even register to 1%. I've yet to find any food that's vegan that even registers as 1%. So we're basically saying a 0% cholesterol diet is what this is. It's high fat by all means. A lot of nuts, a lot of seeds, a lot of avocados, a lot of that stuff. High fat, 0 cholesterol. So that keeps me full, along with the protein from all those things I just named. Again, vegetables, fruits, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds. Those are your food groups. But it's important to make sure that you do get a good balance of those. If you just ate beans, yeah, you'd get the protein, but then you wouldn't get the fat that you need. Or if you only ate nuts and seeds, then maybe you wouldn't get the fiber that you need from the grains and the beans. So it's a balance of those 6 things. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, you need to go to Kroger or whatever grocery store it is, because even Walmart sells the stuff. You need to go get vegan butter, and you need to get some almond milk. That's your milk now. Whatever you would normally use milk for, you're now using unsweetened almond milk. I don't want you adding sugar in your diet. That has a lot to do with how I was cured of my skin condition, is that I had to cut out sugar. But I started eating it in the form of fruit in its whole form, not juice. Do not drink fruit juice. That's processing the fiber out. You need the whole fruit. Anything I would normally put milk in now has unsweetened almond milk. And anything that had butter in it before is vegan butter. It's all from plants. I can't really tell a difference. In fact, I think I like it better. So that's step number 2. You need to make sure those substitutes are in your fridge, because those 2 things alone can help you out tremendously. As far as, well, how do I make this and how to make this? If you have those things, it's amazing what you can do. They're cheap, they're organic, they're at most grocery stores now, even Walmart. Number 3, focus on Italian and Mexican food. Now, it's a complete coincidence that I happen to be both of those ethnicities. As Americans, we eat a lot of Mexican and Italian food anyway. And for example, as far as pasta goes, assuming you don't have a gluten intolerance, but you got your pasta, there you go. You can get it made out of rice for all I care. I don't care what you get it made out of. You got your pasta, and then you put your sauce on it, which is vegetables and herbs. It's fine. Eat a salad with it. There you go. There's a meal. You can spice it up however you want to. My wife has a recipe where she uses, she puts cashews and almond milk in a food processor and puts a little garlic in there, and it makes kind of a nice creamier sauce. She mixes that in with the tomato sauce that we already have. We love doing that. As far as Mexican goes, man, I mean, the way I feel about it, the possibilities are nearly endless. Obviously, there's no cheese or meat, but avocados full of fat. They're creamy, no cholesterol. So you can have your beans, you can have your rice, you can have your quesadilla, you can have your sauce in there, and it's all vegan. And there's so many different ways you can have Mexican food with that, because the beans and rice is kind of the main staple of that anyway. Now, number 4, I kind of mentioned it a minute ago, but eliminating added processed sugar as much as possible. That includes fruit juice, okay? Seriously, fruit juice is not a good thing, because instead of eating that orange or apple, now you're just drinking the sugar and the water and the vitamins, but leaving all the fiber. And your body needs the fiber to process all that sugar. Your body needed all that fiber to begin with, not just the sweet part. So it's a matter of eating more fruits, which is something I do. I mean, I make a smoothie every day, and I put banana, peanut butter, almond milk, unsweetened cocoa powder, chia seeds, blueberries. I put all that in there, and man, there's an easy way to get a couple of servings of fruit right off the bat, and none of it is sweetened with sugar. So it's a matter of eating more fruit and not fruit juice, and nothing with added sugar in it. Because the sugar, I learned personally, helped feed all of the problems I had with my health, especially my skin condition. I also rule out anything artificial. If it's artificial dye, Red 40, Crimson Lake, any of that stuff, I will not eat it if it has food dye in it. I also stay away from any kind of preservatives. If it's fake, if I don't know what it is, I just simply don't eat it. I don't trust it. How can I know that it's food? So part of what made me healthy was doing all these things so far. So that was only 4 steps. In those 4 steps alone, you can become a vegan. You can start this journey. You can start Googling and watching other YouTube videos to learn more about it. I personally suggest Oh She Glows. That's a blog my wife looked to for recipes. A lot of our recipes are based off of Oh She Glows. So I want to give a shout out to Oh She Glows. We're not done yet. I promised you 5 steps, because the whole thing is how to become a vegan and still be cool, right? So step number 5 is don't talk about being a vegan. Now, will it come up in conversation? Absolutely it will. When you're eating in public and people see you eating something much different than they are, they're gonna say, why are you eating that? Are you on a diet or something? Well, then you can explain to them, you know, I'm having some health issues. I have acne, I have Dyshidrosis, I have eczema, I have pet allergies. You can name all of these things and say, I watched this guy that claims that he's been healed for over 3 years by just switching to a vegan diet and it was worth it for him. So I'm just gonna try it out. That's all you have to say. Now, granted, when it works for you, which it will, you know, so now let's imagine it's 2 months in the future. And then they ask you, you can say, well, you know, I lost like 25 pounds. I had all of these medical issues and now I don't. So that's why I choose to do this. I'm happy for anyone else to eat what they want, but as for me, this is what works for me. I'm so much happier now. Yeah, sure, I miss the other stuff, but this is my life now. You know, that's basically my response to it. And people are curious. They're going to have comments and all this stuff. Oh, I could never do that. I don't care. You know, and that's number 5. Just simply don't care about what other people have to say about it or think about it. It's not their deal. It's not their personal journey that they're going through. So it's a matter of, I don't talk about being a vegan unless someone asks me about it. I don't bring it up. Now granted, this is one obvious exception to the rule. I'm making a video that's going on my YouTube channel and it's included in a blog post that goes on all my Facebook. So yes, I am talking about it. That's kind of the exception to the rule though, because I'm explaining the process. So hopefully that is the exception to the rule. But just so you know, if you knew me in real life, I wouldn't talk about being a vegan. I wouldn't bring it up to you. You'd bring it up to me, I guarantee you, if you're around me enough, but I wouldn't bring it up to you. It's not something I believe in because I don't want people to ever think I'm trying to convert them because I simply don't care. So I want people to do whatever they want to do. Just do what works for you. This worked for me. So for those of you who are desperate to get rid of acne, to get rid of skin problems, to get rid of indigestion, you're tired of being overweight, you don't like being allergic to pets, are you desperate enough to become a vegan? And I don't mean just for 2 months. I mean forever. Are you ready to forever commit your life to this? Because it's only going to go away as long as you do this. But here's the thing too. You have to do it 100%. You can't play around with this. You can't think, I'm going to pretty much be a vegan and then maybe my skin problems will go away and my acne. No, it won't. 100%. 100%. I have not once knowingly slipped up in the last 3 years. I've been 100% committed. I cared about attacking the cause of these problems, not just trying to put some ointment over it and hope it gets better and poor pitiful me. No, I took matters into my own hands. I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. Let this video serve proof that you can be cured of eczema and acne and stomach problems and pet allergies. You can be cured of these things, but very few people in the world are desperate enough and disciplined enough to become a vegan. So do you have what it takes? I don't know. But here's the thing, whether or not you become a vegan, it doesn't affect my life personally. You're the one that's gonna have to keep suffering with those problems and keep going to doctors and keep being desperate. That's your life. That would be your decision if you keep deciding to do that. It seems the obvious, easier route is actually just to become a vegan. That seems how it works in my mind because that's my life, that's what I've lived. But again, whatever you do, that's up to you. I'm just gonna stand back now. I'm gonna fade away into the distance. My motivation is me being healthy, me being in control of my own body, not doctors, not fast food companies, not corporations. I'm on no drugs. I'm a drug-free guy. I have no prescriptions, drug-free. I'm healthy. I'll be turning 35 on April 20th, 2016. I'll be 35. And I'm healthy. I'm 5'9", I'm 155-ish pounds, right there in the exact range I'm supposed to be for my height and weight and my age. Got no health problems. I'm happy. I'm not too hungry. If I'm hungry, I eat something out of those food groups. So I hope you found this very educational. Again, you see I speak with authority on the subject because I live this and I know it. Do whatever you think is right for you. Do what gives you peace. I found peace. Can you say the same?